Good morning. Welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Malaki Vilodera. Now, it's a Friday, so let's be as real as possible. And David Rukasi was on ground having this conversation, relationship intelligence and the 21st century relationships. How we engage in our relationships, matters to do with love. It is a Friday, so that topic is totally acceptable. So let's have the conversation, and you can actually call in and engage us on social media. Rita?
Now, on social media, you can be able to actually answer this very simple question, which is, what are the lies you have believed in relationships? What are the myths that you have been told about relationships? And remember, the hashtag is Morning at NTV. That's on Facebook and Twitter at NTV Uganda. Now, we are joined by the one and only John Segawa, an artist, a creative, a director, a writer. The man is full of wisdom in regards to the entertainment world. And today he's going to also share with us his wisdom in regards to relationships. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us, let's just start with now the formulated and the formal type of relationships.
Yes.
And these are marriages. And we are having this conversation, and you were saying in this 21st century, marriages are not lasting long. Why are we having quite a number of divorces, quite a number of breakups? And during our judges' times, our grandmothers' times, they never had a choice or an option on who they would get married to. Their mothers would tell them, their parents would tell them, by the way, we like that dude, our neighbor or our relative, you're going to get married to them. And they would last, stay and live in love. They never had issues to do with divorces, but now that we have choices, now that we have all this information, divorces are on the rise. Why are we having this?
Good morning. I think why we have such rampant divorce is we are failing to face reality. Because, first of all, why do we get married? Why? So many people get married for the sake of it. Not for, like, love. They want to look like a couple A. They want to look like the neighbor. It is all about getting rich fast. It is about good life. Okay? And then when you go into that marriage, after that good life thing, then you realize that I think does not work for me. And when you go to meet friends and chat evenings, like cup of tea, and they tell you, you know, my marriage is like this, mine is like this, and so you think that maybe that one is the perfect marriage. The other one is the perfect marriage. Instead of working on your own self, working on your own marriage. I think it is about comparing. It's about comparing, and today we live in a world of comparisons. Look, we have these smartphones, we have television, okay? Like a lot of dramas are played on television, okay?
Which have also been
it is a lie.
It is a
It is a lie, you know?
Yes.
And then you want to live that life, okay? So it is about what we see and what we hear around us.
Okay, but when we talk about what we see and what we hear and all, I know that Mala has actually talked about it in regards to what our parents did. Because right now, the only way we can actually be able to say that happened back then is because of experience and then what's happening now. And one of the things is that women, and we even did hear it on reality on the ground, that women were more patient. Women were staying home and doing what they needed to do, you know? And now things have changed. Now let's bring it to the 21st century where women are now comparing instead of doing what they're supposed to do. Let's talk about the variation in where the role of a woman, because never do they mention the role of a man in a relationship. It's the women who compare. It's the women who don't stay at home anymore. It's the women who are working.
I think today we have competition between man and woman.
Okay.
Because, like...
Is it competition or it's helping each other
No,
out?
competition like in life. Like, we compete for jobs. We compete for status.
Yes.
Okay? And then that will go deep down into the family. Okay? That kind of competition. Because when you come to work in the morning, okay? Like I'm seated between you ladies, okay? Assuming they bring a male TV host.
Okay.
Okay? And there is that kind of competition between man, and it is the reality. Okay, we are competing. Therefore, that competition has moved from like the business side of it, from the job side of it, to the family side of it. Okay,
It has been brought home.
it has been brought home, and then there is competition at home. Who brings in more? Okay, if woman brings in more, then how do we face that reality? Okay, because they tell us, Bajaja, that woman should be submissive, woman should do this, like you said,
Yes.
woman should be this. But then, woman, assuming I'm woman, I should be this, but I'm the biggest earner in the family. So how do we reconcile the two? Okay, so it becomes a problem. So if you fail to reconcile the two, and then problems start,
To come up.
yes, to come out.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then wouldn't that be a myth? Because as today we're talking about the myths, the lies and all.
Yeah.
There are a number of women who are saying they have done it, you know?
I earn more than my husband, and we live in peace and in love.
Best example right here.
Not that I earn more than my husband.
But well, she's working, and we'll go with the fact that she's working. We're not going to talk about how much she earns. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, you know, when we do percentages, okay, I think the bigger part, the largest percentage is not like you, okay? It has not accepted. It is not patient. It is, it is hoping that maybe there is something better, okay? Not contented with what you have around your table, okay? I think that is a very big problem. And if we do away with comparisons, if you accept that this is the way, and this is reality, I'm not going anywhere, I have to be a woman, I have to live this kind of life, accept the mistakes within, accept, ignore the surroundings, the rumors, the conversations and whatever, and then you accept reality and you live it and work hard for it.
You're not leaving, you're here to cook or
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
work for it and accept, okay? Like you have sisters, they have their problems because like even though you're twins, it cannot be the same. Twin Waswa, all Nakato and Babidie married and Nakato married, but Babidie is facing so many problems in their marriage, and then they bring the surroundings to you, like the conversations, and then you must take it as a person individually, that this is me, this is how I'm going to live, and this is the reality. Okay, if you try to compare, say that marriage that is facing issues and compare it to yours that is like a perfect marriage, okay, and then that's the problem, because individually we are different.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
And we must accept that. We must accept and live it and work for it.
Okay, now if we have talked about the marriage bit of things, there is this dating bit of
Yeah.
things. The dating thing has become so strange and so weird that anyone can go with whoever they want to go with.
Right.
I feel that there's no longer someone being tied down to one. You know, when they tell you we are dating with intentions, there's this thing of we're courting a girl. When was the last time someone had courtship in Kampala, for example?
And this dating thing, I think it is for a certain class of people.
Please break down
But
to this
Muntu
class.
wa wansi and dating, they don't understand it.
What do they
What
understand?
is
You know, it is like meeting a woman and chat the woman and sex.
And that is where things are coming so fast.
Yes, we're living in a fast world, okay? And what is the intention? What is the intention? Is it, like I want to get married, so I court, then we try the relationship, see whether it works or not, or I want the other thing, okay?
And should you even state that you want the other thing from the start?
Like men today, Yetubera and the Asaunas, like the married and not married, they just want to state it as it is. They don't have time for that, because tomorrow they are going to meet Jennifer, Then if Jennifer says no, they are going to meet Alice.
They have options.
Yes.
Where are these
And it is a
options coming
reality.
from?
Because options coming from, I think they tell us that you women, population-wise,
There are more women to
yes,
men.
there are more women than men.
But who then do we blame for the moral decay? Because if now the men are walking around with that attitude that if Jennifer has so high standards,
Yes.
then I can get Anne, I can get Caroline. So who do we blame for this? Is it that the men have become so impatient and they're like, we can get whatever we want when we want it, and there are many options? So this decay, and of course it's trickling into marriage. So who do we blame? Is it that the boy child now feels like, I mean, love can be taken very casually. If she feels so sweet about herself, I can get it elsewhere. Don't we say that then the men have to now become more grounded and more, you know, deliberate about also owning up to good values in relationships?
Some will do, but some will not. You know, this urbanization thing has broken our families, okay? Times when we lived in our villages, parents, the village, the entire village was your parent. They find you here doing this, you must not do that. They find a girl like Mwara Takola China, you see? Broken families and urbanization. We have all run away from what kept us the village, what kept us to be humble, and we have come to this so fast world urbanization, okay? Look at the way we live, families and kids, how they grow up. The other day I was shooting some short movie for Eddie Kenzo, and then we visited the ghetto in around Mulago. You know, when you get there, you feel sick, you know? The girls, the words they're using, okay?
Quite powerful.
Yeah, I think it is for survival because it is rough down there. Okay, this kind of relationship we think we should be is a small percentage of those people who are like well off, like who have gone to school and educated, but there is that population down there, and it is the majority that it has no guidance, and we live with that. Look at the kind of television we watch. When you listen to radio, when you go to social media, you see how people interact, the kind of words they use, the reactions. I think that will cause and bring problems in the near future as we grow up, and it is going to affect family. Because we live in an open, rough society.
Right.
There's no, like, bringing you together. There's no parenting. Look at the schools we take our kids to. And where do these kids come from?
Yes.
Okay? You can do it at home. John will do it at home. Max will do it at home. How about the other person? And then they come together. The kind of words they use, obscene. You see? So it has an effect.
So what I'm hearing you say is that that space of safety, that space of nurturing and mentorship, which is parenting, the home, is also breaking down. We're not, as parents, we're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly, exactly. Because we are chasing after so many things and fail to consider what is important. Okay? Like when you divorce and you have kids, the lady goes the other way, the man the other way. Where are the kids? Okay? Today, they are going to live with John. After like 3 weeks, they will go to mom. Okay? Maybe John has a new relationship, a girlfriend.
Another mommy in the picture.
Another mommy in the picture. And mommy John, which kind of mommy? Okay? Because I grew up in a Christian family. Pray when you're going to have a meal in the morning. The family gathers. Do we do it?
Yes.
Okay? Do we have religion in our family, because it is important to grow up with such, okay? But here we are, these kind of religions like we had, like 3, 4, today you have so many people telling you this, you know, that and that. It's society which is out of order, a disorderly society. And if we have such disorderly society, look at the way we drive.
Exactly.
Look at the way we walk, disorder everywhere. Why do you think that if we have disorder during the day, and then when you go back home, there's no disorder?
There's going to be sanity at home.
Yes, it cannot, because this is the world we live in,
Yes.
and it is very sad.
Okay.
Yes.
But as you talk about the fact that it's very sad, the world we live in, back to those myths, by the way, you should continue to share on our social media platforms. One of the things that we have had a number of times is the fact that when you talk about who are you dating, who are you getting married to, in regards to the fact that, is mommy praying the way I pray? Yes, because you bring this other person, you have your own beliefs, they have their own beliefs. It takes us to, can you change a man? The myth that so many women have said you can change a man. Once we get married, I will be in charge is what they say. No, let him give me the ring. And also the man is saying, once I get her into that house,
I'll tame her.
She's on a leash, you know? So this myth of you can change your partner, yet you have already seen the signs that you actually are not compatible with this person.
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
You can't change. You can't change your partner.
Can you?
Yes, sometimes you can.
So we are changing.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
How?
you
What
can.
percentage?
What happens?
50-50.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
how
about
does this
accepting.
happen?
It's about accepting.
For the women who are listening, get your pens and your notebooks. Listen carefully. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you must accept that this is my journey and I have to walk it. Okay? And then if you have to walk it, how do I walk it? Okay? And then you try to find a way how you walk it.
So let's try and maybe try and walk this journey with him
Yes.
for a minute.
Mhm.
If at all this man is always drinking, or this woman
Yeah.
is always on the night scene, you met her in the bar.
Mm.
You are head over heels for her. You are saying she's the one I'm going to get married to, but you know, when work is done on Friday, from Friday night to Sunday evening,
Not even
she's
Friday.
in the bar.
From Wednesday.
She's in the bar, exactly.
Don't you
So
think-
how do you start to work
Don't you
this
think
around?
that people outgrow things?
When? How does
It's
this
not a
happen?
question of time. You have to be patient because it is forever.
What if it doesn't actually happen? Because we know of a few, unfortunately, on a very sad note, there's a lady, at the beginning of this year, we had to report a story about a lady who went to the bar and left her child at home, and the child died.
Yes.
Yeah, things like that. You know, you're saying you're waiting to accept, but how many lives are you going to ruin along the way? Lives of your children, because like you have said, the home, the family matters, because eventually a child is going to grow up. They're going to share these things with other people in schools. So how,
It is part of life. We have to accept it. We have to accept it. Look, when you go into marriage, what do you want from marriage? You A, B, C, D. We have to have priorities. Okay? Like I'm divorcing today, okay? And then I have kids, and today, say the mother is flying out. I call here, let me go away, let me go to let me go to Norway, let me go to America, and then you leave the kids because you cannot go with the kids. And then reality happens, you are a man, and you cannot look after these kids, what can I do, okay? You have that relationship somewhere, but you think, that was not for marriage, that was not for
But that's
for
what
my
you men do.
kids.
That's what you men do.
Yes,
You date so many
Yes.
girls at the same time,
Yes.
and you're like, that one is married. To
Yes.
This one is the one to go for
the weekend.
For the
the
weekend.
destination holiday.
This one is to go with in my
Because
buddy
man-
circle.
because
So
man
the
want-
men have spoiled it completely.
Yes, because man wants a total package. And
Is
you cannot
that
have
possible?
it. It is not possible.
So one myth down, there is no marriage total package ever.
No, it's not. It's not. If
Okay.
you keep looking for that
Ideal.
that thing outside what you have in your marriage,
You'll never be content in
you'll
your marriage.
never be content.
Yes.
You get. So that's the reality. And I don't know why. I think it is the psyche of man. Eh? You're driving your car with your wife, and then some girl walking down the street.
And you just happen to look for a while.
What is that pulls man to, and then
You
they
tell
want-
us you're the man.
I don't know if Mala ever finds herself staring at other men as she's in the car with her husband, because I don't see how that happens. When women are focused, they're focused. If we're driving to point A, we are going to point A. We won't stop at point B at any one point.
Man will not be focused, I'm telling you.
What happens in the brain of a man? You have a super hot, dedicated, tamed and good wife, amazing Proverbs 31 woman with you, super hot. But like you're saying, you'll still have time to snip around. What happens in the brain of the man?
The brain will tell man that one is too serious for me now. I want to loosen up. I want somebody. Yes.
Can we ever say that men just never seem to be content in a position?
95%.
Itchy feet is what happens a number of times.
Exactly.
Well, with that being said, let's go to this marriage material thing. This other lie. There are women who are marriage material. There are women who are not marriage material. That one. No. That's what they say. No. And they have a conversation. What is this marriage material here? Where can we buy this marriage
Depends on
material?
what you want. Like, marriage material for me can be somebody who looks good. Like, when I go out with someone, the guys are going to say, oh, you have a hot chick and whatever. And then when you go home, she's not a good cook, she's not what. But for
You
me,
have a trophy.
my marriage material is a trophy. Okay? That is another thinking. And then there is this marriage material, submissive, this and that. And then there is this one, I want an argument at home. I want brains. When I go home, we sit and argue.
We fight.
We fight.
On the table, we're
yes,
fighting.
politics, reality. Which channel are we going to watch? Like when we are watching a movie, you take sides, that kind of. So it depends on the person. It depends on what you like as a person. It depends on what is going to give you life. Okay? Because you are going to live with it forever. And that is your life. So what do you want your life to appear? What do you want your life to look like?
Then am I hearing you say that before you actually make that decision to settle down, you need to know yourself first?
That is the perfect thing. Know yourself. Know yourself. I want to give you an example of John Segal.
Go ahead.
Myself. I want space. Okay? I want a relationship or a marriage where I have my own bedroom and she has her own bedroom. Okay?
That's the real John Segal.
Yeah, I want my space. Okay?
Right.
You want a house with, first of all, 2 master bedrooms.
Exactly.
2 master bedrooms before we
Exactly.
go ahead.
When I'm sitting and reading or doing my stuff, I don't want your business. Okay?
Yes.
And I won't interfere in your business, okay? Because as I want space, so I accept that you should have space, okay? And I would love that marriage. But is it ideal?
No.
It is ideal for you.
But
Because
For
what
that's
me,
about-
what
what
you
it
about
want
can
the
be
woman?
ideal for
Right.
me, but not ideal for the...
for the
wife.
woman.
Yes. And she cannot accept it. We are married, then why do we separate beds? Are we divorced? Come on. What's happening? If you're not sharing beds, then I walk out.
Yes.
So what is reality for me cannot be real for the other, for the partner.
But I think that's where Rita was coming in and saying that it's important to have this real conversations
Exactly.
with, your better half before you even commit.
Yes.
Such that she knows that this is how John likes it. He needs his own bedroom.
Yes.
I will be having my own bedroom. Am I willing to live with that type of John or not?
You must leave it first.
Leave it first.
Leave it. Leave the relationship. Leave.
What do you mean?
You
so
need
we
to
come and cohabit.
experiment.
Yes.
And that is another thing. And
John, really?
You have to
that
leave
is-
it.
So, you,
For
so,
it to
so
last.
you're encouraging guys to actually cohabit
Cohabit.
first?
Yes. It's the
yeah.
reality.
But then, John,
it is the medicine.
when
It's the vaccination.
pastors will come for you.
This changes a few things because with earlier on at the start of this conversation, we talked about the thing that if you decide to get married to this person, yes, you have decided there's no turning back, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So why should I have the opportunity to first if I can turn back or not? Because I think with marriages that you go in, there are going to be tests and trials here and there. But remember, you can't turn back. I feel what we're trying to do is to test what kind of meat the goat has before we actually buy the goat in a market, which is impossible.
Reality is, when you fall sick, they try out several medicines.
Yes.
Okay?
No, they
But
don't.
in the
Nowadays,
hospital-
they don't.
No,
They first
Back in
test
the
your
day.
blood.
They
do
test.
an array of tests before they give you a medicine.
They taste your blood.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay?
yeah.
How many go for that test? Reality, how many go for
If
that?
you,
test?
if you,
Look,
if you go
when
to
I
a
fall sick,
hospital,
when I fall sick, that's an option of that kind of society.
so you're saying it's
But when-
expensive.
Yes, yes, and we
Okay.
have to think for the entire institution, not for particular groupings.
So if I get this right,
Yeah.
which I believe, first of all, is another myth. Now, we're actually getting the myths
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
That you need to go ahead and first perhaps stay with your significant other before he even decides to perhaps pop the question.
Yeah.
And this is when I ask, should it happen? Because a number of people have said, if you're engaged, then you should start spending some nights over. You see, does he snore? What does he do exactly? But why don't you just wait for
And
the
you
wedding
accept
night?
reality, and then you say, you make a decision later, should I or should I not?
But don't you
Look,
think that's
today-
cheating the exam?
It is the way to go. Because we are talking about lifetime, okay? Now, there is this kind of thinking that when you're done with university, okay, a woman, you must find a man,
Yeah.
okay? You must find a man. If we do away with must,
Just to find a
you
man.
should. You should, not must. Okay? If you must, okay, that is a problem because you are forced to. You are rushing it. There's no time for you to court. There's no time for you to ukusitadinga.
Yes.
Ukusitadinga, ukumusitadinga. That's what they say. Really. I need to study that.
Yes, you need to see him
You
in
need to see him.
qualities.
You understand? I need to take him to places. I need to go with her to my friends. What do my friends say about it? You know, it is all about the surroundings. Okay? And that is the reality. So if we accept reality and believe in reality and behave in reality, I think we shall have perfect marriages.
But let me ask you a question, and I like it that you mentioned that you have been raised in a Christian
Yes,
family.
yes.
But what the Bible says ideally for relationships is cohabiting is totally wrong. And I think that's why we're having marriages that break down, because once you cohabit, really, we know that quite a huge number of people actually cohabit, and we know where those unions
Yes.
go to. Not a huge number, and I stand corrected, get into the marriage phase. Not so. So why then, if we know that people have tried it and tested where they first cohabit and it never works, it never gets to the marriage phase, then why are we talking about cohabiting yet?
You know, religion and marriage, I don't want to discuss that. You know why I don't? We were talking about, before we came on air, about Bajaja and so.
Yes.
They used to have like extended families, so many wives, and they lived in that kind of society. And religion, when religion came, you remember the story of the Ghana Matters and this Mulumba, the Mata, who was a chief and had so many wives and whatever. And then when the Christianity came and they told him that that's wrong, and then he had to do away with the wives and whatever. I think that's a tricky subject to discuss. But me, what I think, my opinion,
This is John speaking.
Yes.
Yes.
As
With his
John
own
said.
beliefs.
my opinion, those things that tie us to something should be questionable. They should be questionable. We should question religion.
Really?
Yes. Why? Because John is a Christian. My friend Abe is Muslim, okay? And they have different behavior, and the religion dictates this, okay? Then how do we, when we come together like social gathering, evening, talking about relationship, talking about my marriage, you're from a different religion, I'm from a different,
But then
you
I
are from a
think-
different thinking, I'm from a different thinking.
Doesn't
how
that
do you
help?
reconcile these things?
You know what?
Okay?
We
Conversation.
actually, Rita, we actually have a caller on. Like, let's just get to hear what our callers have to say. Good morning. Good morning, if you can hear me.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Richard, calling from Moyenga.
Your question, comment?
Well, I like to...
Yes, go ahead.
appreciate it's a very good topic.
Thank you.
And Mr. Segawa, thank you very much for representing the manhood.
Thank you. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Yes. Well, my view, some points I may disagree with Mr. Segawa.
Where do you disagree with him?
Well, the aspect of, he talks about that man single staring at each woman that crosses your way. Well, I think for that it all comes down to the discipline someone has.
Yes.
Yeah, because if someone is married,
Yes, go ahead.
if someone is married, you can just, you're with your woman in the car, and a woman crosses, of course that attention may go, but it doesn't mean that every woman that crosses your way, you have to just go in for them.
Right.
Yes, the discipline is very important because that's what keeps the society, that's what keeps the discipline in people's marriages, because everyone is allowed, because everyone is an adult. If I'm married and I'm to travel, let me say to Dubai, you know, my wife is not that means I can sleep with any other person I want, but you
Yes.
know, there's that norm that, you know, once I was joined by in church or in other society, they make sure that, you know what, you're meant for this woman, you're meant for this man. And I think that keeps, you know, that relationship of nowadays.
Right. Right. So what you're saying is that discipline is key.
It's key.
Okay.
Yes, nowadays, people now have less time to get to know each other.
Right.
People get to know each other from Snapchat,
Instagram.
Instagram,
Twitter.
Someone's page and be like, oh, this guy is trouble, this guy's into that. You always love him.
Right.
You know? Someone has a very nice watch, like, well, no, that's the type of guy I want. Yeah, so that's the society now we're in. You know, people want quick things. Like the ladies want quick things. You know, there's no love of talking. There's no love of money.
Right.
Yes.
Even as the guys be like, you know what? No, I'll get her. Just give me 1 week. You know, just what someone sends you some nice champagne and some nice flowers and chocolates. And after next time, your friends are like, this is for her. You know, it was a birthday and they just took her out to like this other place and you're like, wow, I want that type of guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, but anyway, you have nothing to do about it. It's life and it's having a good time. But if you're lucky and you get the right person your way, you know, because the most important thing in a relationship is getting to know each other.
Yes.
The time, you know, you get to know if you get someone, you sleep with them, you know, they know why, you know what they don't like, you know, now my girlfriend doesn't know how to cook.
Right.
Then if they know how to cook, you'll be like, okay, you know, to cook, then we can get a maid who can cook for us. So no one is perfect.
Whoa, thank you so much, Richard,
Very
for your
interesting
views and
call.
for your comments. Very interesting call. Keep it tuned in. Thank you so much for your views. So,
Discipline.
it goes back to
Discipline.
discipline. And also,
Discipline.
what he pointed out is we are living in a social media era.
Yes.
So, we also need, as a society, we need to move away from looking at
dangerous.
monetary values to the real values,
The
because
person.
many will go for a woman because her career is doing well, or go for a man because, you know, he's doing well, he drives this type of car,
He holds
lives
the
in
right
this-
phone.
Exactly, he holds the right phone. Rita, you can take the next call.
Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, too.
Who are we speaking to this morning?
We are speaking to
Pardon? We seem to have lost that call. But John, we can go back to that conversation. You could call us back. The phone numbers are on the line.
He's back
on the
online.
screen. Oh, you're back. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Who are we speaking to and where are you calling in from?
My name is Godson. I'm calling in from Maintain.
Yes.
I'm watching you guys and enjoying the show.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you have any comment or question?
Yes, I do have a comment. Now, when John says that he promotes cohabitation, I totally disagree with you. And especially when it's from a Christian upbringing like himself. At a personal level, I'm married, and I've been in marriage for about 2 decades now.
Oh,
And
Congratulations.
well done.
thank you, Madam Chief. Thank you. Now, with the trends now, what is happening in our country, I be the right idea. Because it's very important. You got to give to this guy to find out how does he behave. And the guy also gets to know how does this girl behave. You go for an outing. You see what is the etiquette of this would-be wife of mine. You find who are the friends of this wife to be.
Yeah.
So who are the friends of this husband of mine to be. So that that's the dating thing, not the sex aspect.
Right.
Dating is more the kind of totality of the individual who you are planning to live with forever for the two of you. But during this period of dating, then you decide to make a decision and say, this human being is not worth living with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then you choose another option. I also want to comment on what John was saying. Today, the women, actually, I saw Marcus saying what are men up to. But it is the women. You see, when a woman says no, the man continues insisting.
Yes.
But women learn to say no and their meaning no. Then moral aspect would be to considerable level 10. But now what happens? Our girls have become so vulnerable, they think they cannot be because men are few, which is not. So
Right.
please, ladies, can you add value in yourselves and continue saying no to these men? And then, by so doing, then we shall have a better society. It's because I don't have the time, I wish I would be able to discuss with you at an opportune time, then we'll discuss further. But I'm falling in love in life.
Thank you so much for that call, which has brought a lot of things and which we're definitely going to. Thank you so much. Surely 20 years of marriage, we can hear it all.
Yes.
Now let's talk about this. First of all, social media. Mala had asked you where it comes in before we can go ahead with that.
Look, today, you girls are fascinated with this birthday thing. When, how do you call it? When you're someone pregnant and there is that
baby shower.
Yes, there is, you know, that kind of life, okay? And posting on Instagram and posting on you.
For the likes.
Your likes,
And
okay?
the comments.
We want that kind of life, okay? So it's like that. If somebody, like, can offer that, you don't care. If somebody can offer me a glamorous kwanjura,
It's
okay,
over.
that is it. That's all I want.
It's for the show.
It is
Yes.
for the show.
Right.
It's not for the heart.
But we need to move away from
We
that
must,
and
we
go
must.
back to the grounded values
We
and
must.
looking into the values of this other person that you're really interested in.
We must, because it's going to involve children. We must understand that if we live in this kind of life, then we are damaging what we are bringing.
As we come to a close, the comment on cohabitation. Now, do you agree with, of course,
Has it
that?
changed
Has it changed
the
your
way you
position?
think about things?
No, it cannot change. No, it cannot change because we have a broken society and we must think for each and every person.
So what you're saying is people need to be real.
Very much so.
But them that cohabit never get to, most of them never get to the marriage stage. So
But they will, after some time, look,
Fine.
you can fail in this marriage, you can fail in that cohabitation, but that's not the end of your
do
life.
we now put our emphasis on courtship and just getting to know how better we can court each other?
Can
It
you do
should
it
be
this
one
than
of the
cohabiting?
one of the many solutions to this problem.
Okay, Rita, we're coming
That
to a
has been
close.
Solutions with John Segawa, who has joined us this morning. We've been talking about relationships in the 21st century. Now, definitely the conversation on cohabiting and in regards to being in a Christian perspective and background continues to be a huge question. Now, go and use the hashtag morning@ntv on Facebook and Twitter. Continue with the comments. You have seen a number of them, the lies and myths that we have believed. That hashtag has been morning@ntv. Thank you so much for the calls. Thank you so much for the comments.
Right.
And thank you so much for being a part of Morning at NTV.
Do have yourselves a blessed weekend. Thank you so much, John, for coming in. And Nana Kaga was supposed to join us as well, but we do wish you a quick recovery. And yeah, have a blessed weekend. Stay safe and have fun. Bye.